honor of my lifetime to serve as city manager of our proud cities. This is a city that is made fuller, better, and brighter because of everyone, and I mean everyone, who calls Chelsea home. Especially for over a year, though, families in our community have lived in fear. We are afraid to go to work. We are afraid to seek help. We are afraid to send our kids to school. And we in the city have seen the cost of that fear. Empty classroom seats, neighbors who have left the state, businesses that have shuttered, and trust broken between residents and our institutions that are meant to protect them. But today that changes. Today, our governor makes history. Today, the PROTECT Act becomes the law of the land. I want to thank Gladys Vega and La Colorativa for continuing to open your doors and for standing fearlessly with our community. I want to thank the legislators, particularly our state rep, Judith Garcia, who wrote, championed, and passed this bill to the House. I want to thank every resident who shared your story, shared your testimony, and is really what made this moment possible. Now, it is my privilege to welcome a big supporter of Chelsea, the champion of our state, and someone we are proud to call a friend, but most importantly, an ally, our Governor, Healey.
City Manager for hosting us here in Chelsea. I want to thank Gladys Vega and La Colorativa. I also want to acknowledge the Speaker and the Senate President for their commitment to getting this bill to my desk. I want to thank our conference committee, Senator Cindy Friedman, Chair Dan Cahill, Chair of the Black and Latino Legislative Caucus, Andy Vargas. Senator Fidel Cayano. Representative Judith Garcia. Senator Adam Gomez, Senator Liz Miranda, Senator Jamie Eldridge, Representative Carlos Gonzalez, Chair Mike Day, Chair John Law, Representative Christine Barber, Representative Chris Morrell, Chair Marjorie Decker, Senator Will Brownsberger, Representative Dave Rogers. We also have with us district attorneys today, District Attorney Kevin Hayden, District Attorney Dave Sullivan, District Attorney Marion Ryan. I just want to take a moment to recognize the many stakeholders, coalition members who are also here today. Co-chair Lenita Reason of the Brazilian Workers Center. Co-chair Lee Smith, America Coalition. 1199 SEIU, ACLU of Massachusetts, American Federation of Teachers, Jewish Alliance for Law and Social Action, who have been working hard over the last 18 months to protect our neighborhoods, to protect our residents. In particular, I want to thank Gabe Viator, Jesse Voodoo, Kim Carr, Marconi Almeida Veros, and Susan Church. Moving on a lot of fronts in the governor's office, but today in particular, I want to recognize the work that that team did in standing up for the people of Massachusetts. Thank you, team. I just want to take a moment, have everybody look around the room. We see people of all races, all backgrounds, all socioeconomic backgrounds. We see law enforcement, community organizers, teachers, clergy, nurses and doctors, patients, parents and kids, all standing together. This is what makes Massachusetts special. It's our people. And today, we the people of Massachusetts are standing up and are fighting back because we know what we need to do. We know that what ICE is doing is wrong and it needs to stop. We know who we're speaking for. A dad, a landscaper, on his way to work. A mom going to daycare for pickup. A father placed in a chokehold while holding his child. A 14-year-old girl used as bait to lure her dad. Moms ripped from their cars while kids are watching. People who've been working here in Massachusetts, working hard, paying taxes for years, put on planes and sent far, far away. Innocent people shot and killed. U.S. citizens stopped and detained peaceful protesters, arrested. This is what ICE is doing to our people and our neighborhoods. Now we have parents who are afraid to send their kids to school, moms who are afraid to take their kids to doctor's appointments. All of this done by ICE agents who are untrained, unqualified, and unfit to do their jobs. I want to be clear about something. I'm your governor. I was formerly your attorney general. For 8 years, I investigated, prosecuted, and put away violent criminals, drug traffickers, gun traffickers, human traffickers. We all want safe communities, don't we? Yeah. But, you know, having worked with law enforcement and standing here today with law enforcement, I want to be clear. The law I'm signing today is a public safety law. Could look at what we see on TV and read in the news and hear from our neighbors, not just in Massachusetts, but around this country. I don't know how anyone could look at that and not say, ICE is making us less safe. ICE is making us less safe. No, I think there are a few things I also want to say, okay? I think we can agree that we need immigration reform in this country. We can agree we need controls at the border. We can also agree that ICE is so wrong in what it's doing, and ICE needs to be stopped here in Massachusetts and around this country. Just stop in its tracks. Destroying our country. What ICE is about, it's about Donald Trump and Stephen Miller's hateful and racist agenda.
That's right.
It's about threatening, antagonizing, terrorizing people simply for how they look and apparently what they represent to Trump and Miller and those who support. Today in Massachusetts, we're saying enough is enough. We're standing up for what's right, and we're taking action to protect people's safety. neighbors and advocated. Here's what it does. In our schools, in Chelsea and across Massachusetts, enrollment is down. And if you talk to our principals and administrators, they would tell you this is directly tied to Donald Trump and ICE's tactics. With this law, we're banning ICE from civil arrests and presence in our schools, in our childcare centers. Doctors and nurses across Massachusetts are seeing families skipping medical appointments, not getting the care they need, even canceling their insurance. These are pregnant moms who are afraid to get care, patients afraid to bring their kids for pediatric appointments, sons and daughters afraid to visit their parents in a nursing home. By signing the PROTECT Act today, ICE agents will no longer be allowed in our hospitals, our community health centers, or our nursing homes. Then there's our courthouses. You know what judges are telling us? Judges are telling us that ICE's presence in our courthouses is constant. They're everywhere. And it's keeping victims and witnesses to crime from showing up. Cases are getting dismissed, and criminals aren't getting prosecuted because of ICE. That lets criminals walk free, roam our streets. We're talking about domestic abusers, people who commit rape and assault. When that happens, everyone is less safe. Today, we're banning civil arrests inside our courthouses. Schools, hospitals, courthouses, these are places where people need to go and they need to be safe in going there. And now, as of today in Massachusetts, they will be again. The PROTECT Act also does some other things. It will allow parents to prearrange guardianship for their kids in case they're detained or reported. And we know the stories from right here in Chelsea and elsewhere, heartbreaking, that parents and families have to go through this, and so many others are left picking up the pieces in their communities, taking care of little kids whose parents aren't coming home. I remember months ago walking up to an apartment with you, Gladys, and walking into that apartment and meeting a family and seeing two little kids who were staring out the window onto the street, wondering and waiting and asking, when is Daddy gonna come home? Daddy wasn't coming home. Daddy had been picked up that day on his way to work. And when ICE does these things, it leaves families shattered, and it leaves the rest of us in community picking up the pieces. So it's a frightening prospect for any family to face separations. The least that families should be able to do is make a plan for their kids' well-being. And with today's act, we're going to make that happen. Consistent with my executive order, it bans state agencies from entering into any new 287G agreements, and it prohibits civil arrests in non-public areas of state buildings. We're not allowing ICE into these spaces. It also allows people to bring civil rights claims against federal agents. I talked to you, I said to you before, as somebody who trained law enforcement, all right, who supervised law enforcement, and who has worked with law enforcement for the better part of a 14-year career. What we're seeing in ICE, look at what happened in Maine. That guy would never have been hired, not only by any law enforcement agency in Massachusetts, but any public agency in Massachusetts. So we've got ICE agents out there who shouldn't be hired, are not qualified, are not trained, and are doing things that violate people's constitutional rights And that's just wrong. And so we're making it clear today that those federal agents are subject to civil suit by individuals and also are not above the law. And that means they're subject to criminal laws by our state officials, by our attorney general, and by our district attorney's offices. Massachusetts. If an ICE agent violates your rights in Massachusetts, they will be held accountable. This is a public safety law, the PROTECT Act. The PROTECT Act. It's about protecting public safety. And what we're doing today is standing up to a president, to an administration that's out of control, that's hurting people, hurting neighborhoods across our country. But we're doing something more than just standing against that. We're standing up for something. We're standing up for our immigrant communities. Yes. We're part of the fabric of our economy and contribute so much to who we are in Massachusetts. We're standing up for public safety. We're standing up for people's rights. We're standing up for the kind of state Massachusetts is, and we want Massachusetts to always be. I also think we're doing something else today, and that is giving people hope. Donald Trump, every day, in every which way, is trying to find a way to take hope away from the American people, to depress us, to numb us to things that shouldn't be normalized, to deaden our senses. But in Massachusetts, we don't give up, we stand up. That's right. And we choose to stay where if you work hard, you can raise a family and afford to live. We choose to be a place where everyone's rights are protected and freedom is respected. Now, hope, of course, has the most meaning when it's followed by action. And today is action. Today, we're taking action that'll make a real difference in people's lives here in Massachusetts. And I'm proud to stand with all of you today. Let's keep working together to make Massachusetts and this country the place that it should be, that we all want it to be. Thank you, Thank you, everyone. And with that, we're going to hear from some of our legislators who worked hard to get this bill to my desk, beginning with Senator Payano.
Buenos dias. All right, I love the energy. And this is a surreal moment. You know, I was standing behind with members of the Black and Latino caucus that were reminding me that a year ago today, we were spending the last days of summer, myself, Senator Edwards, Chair Vargas, Representative Garcia, Senator Cruz, meeting and discussing what ended up being the backbone of the PROTECT Act. And when we started, we weren't sure whether we were going to get here today, but we understood that the fight needed to be had. So thank you, Governor, and thank you all of you that are here for making sure that this became possible. I want to begin by thanking Senate President Spilka for her unwavering leadership and for ensuring that our Commonwealth stands up for fairness, justice, and the dignity of every person in the Commonwealth. I also want to thank someone who became my partner in crime, Senator Friedman, who co-chaired the conference committee, for her tireless work and steadfast commitment in leading this legislation and bringing us to this moment. Now, I know there's a lot of people to thank, and I'll just focus on the members of the Black and Latino Caucus, both my Senate and my House colleagues who are with me. I mentioned some, but I know with us as well are Representative Worrell and my good friend Senator Gomez as well. Fought for a very long time making sure that this was possible, and there were other leaders like Senator Brownsburg, Senator Eldridge, who on this issue were leading, and of course the advocates who helped us get the bill across the line. Now I stand here as a senator, as a neighbor, and most importantly, as an immigrant. My mother and father, my father who's here with us today, and talk about it. Both of them were public school teachers. My father came here when he was 16 years old because of political persecution that existed in the Dominican Republic, and they both here came in search of the American promise. For 30 years, they stood in Lawrence classrooms, teaching, guiding, and supporting other people's children. They gave everything they had so one day their son could stand in a room like this one. Woo! As I see all of you here today, I think you would agree that they were right to believe in this promise. But right now, that promise is breaking. Roughly 7 out of every 10 people held in ICE detentions today have no criminal conviction. Those are mothers, fathers, children. When a family can be torn apart for how they look, no one's papers makes them safe. I have seen what this fear does to a community. A grandmother who stops filing her prescriptions. A mother who walks her child to the school gate and cannot make herself let go. A father who works his cold shift with one eye on the door. So to every immigrant family living under this fear, hear me. In this Commonwealth, truth, justice, liberty, and humanity will prevail. Woo! And to the children, the ones laying awake at night, afraid the people they love will not come home, I want to speak to you in the language of home. No están solos. Este es su lugar. Y hoy todo un estado se levanta para protegerlo. You are not alone. This is your home. And today an entire state stands up to protect you. I was an immigrant child once with big dreams. This Commonwealth kept its promise to me. Today, we keep it for the next generation and those to come. Governor Healey, thank you, because every family in Massachusetts is going to be able to sleep better at night tonight. Thank you all again, and I hope that this love and energy we have will continue on and will resonate in the community. And now, joining us, we have my good friend and colleague, Senator Brownsburg, who, without his efforts, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I want to begin by just saluting Senator Beato and all of the members of the Black Latino Caucus in the legislature. You heard Senator Beato's eloquence. His eloquence has been a key force in building consensus for strong legislation in the Senate. Senator Edwards, whose voice you're not hearing this morning, but she has been a spectacularly effective voice. Senator Gomez from Springfield, a spectacularly effective voice.
together in the Senate, they have lifted their voices and made themselves heard and created the legislation that you have in front of us. Now, I want to say, of course, I'm not naming the House members, but the House members are equally critical in this process. Nothing happens. Nothing happens with one branch of the legislature. It's about both branches of the legislature working together, and the Black Latino Caucus has been a bridge between both branches of the legislature to get us to where we are today. I want to say I'm proud of the work that the House and the Senate did in 2020 and 2021 to create Senate districts in which immigrant voices could be elected. And Senator Payano is one of those senators. Senator Miranda is one of those senators. And there's so many members of the House that are here today. They're here today to lift their voices, and they've been in the legislature making themselves heard, making them clear the value of including everybody in the representation process. PROTECT Act makes sure that our police are here to keep our communities safe, not to do ICE's job. The PROTECT Act makes clear that schools, hospitals, courts are safe places where people can do what they need to do without fear. And the critical new provision in which Massachusetts really leads, there's only a couple of other states have done this, makes clear that when ICE violates our constitutional rights, the constitutional rights of any person, the constitutional rights of any person in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, those agents will be held accountable. A very meaningful protection. And I want to say, it's been said, I want to make sure their names are said. Nothing happens without strong legislative leadership to bring people together. So Senator Spilka, our Senate President, Representative Ron Mariano, the Speaker of our House, working together, working with the Black Latino Caucus, working with all of us to create that legislation. Their leadership is key, and I want to salute in particular the leadership of the chairs of this conference committee, Senator Friedman, who, by the way, didn't just chair our conference committee, but chaired the steering policy committee, which brought together a lot of voices and wove together our version of this legislation. And Representative Cahill, whose great work with her, brought us to this point. I want to introduce Representative Cahill to take the next lead.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Good morning! Let me start it off like this. Buenos dias! Sac se vai! Sac passe! All right, we are blessed here today. We are very blessed. We're blessed because I see my friend over there from the Haitian church. Why are we blessed today? Because God is good.
All the time!
All the time! Right. What an exciting day. I am very blessed to work with an incredible group of individuals. But this was not individually driven. This was driven by you. It was driven by our constituencies. It was driven by my friends who are here from the great city of Lynn. I want to say hello to you. I see a couple of you. That's right. And we're so excited to celebrate this day. But I got to tell you, you're probably tired of listening to another tall white guy. But I'm going to bring something up right now. She's going to say a couple of things for me. I want to bring up my good friend, Judith Garcia. She worked tirelessly on this. She represents the great city of Philadelphia. I want to really say a few words to me, too.
What a way to start this morning at such a symbolic place. I want to thank our governor for choosing Chelsea. We're here, it's full circle. I want to thank our colleagues our members of the Massachusetts Black and Latino Caucus, for working behind the scenes every day to center the voices of Latinos, of Blacks, of immigrants who are facing some of the most difficult moments in our lifetime. But today is more than just a day of hope. Today is a day of action. And I'm excited to be here in Chelsea, in my community that raised me, a place where I grew up, where I was taught that being an immigrant, that being Hondureña is a badge of honor that I should carry high. Thank you a mi comunidad. Muchísimas gracias. Ustedes pertenecen, ustedes cuentan, ustedes hacen el sueño americano posible todos los días. Hoy es por ustedes. Hoy levantamos al pueblo. Muchísimas gracias.
To be able to introduce our next speaker. This gentleman has been involved in this issue from day one. He is an extremely talented legislator. He is a kind and wonderful man. He's a shrewd negotiator. And you're going to hear some great words from my friend, your friend, Representative Andy Vargas.
One more time for the honorary Dominican Dan Cahill. There's a saying that my family says, and we'll see how many Latinos are in the room. You can finish it. Dime con quien anda. In English, tell me who you're hanging out with, and I'll tell you who you are. Today it's an honor to be hanging out with every single one of you in this room today. Hoy Massachusetts le dice a cada familia, aquí no están solos. Today, in the face of a reckless federal administration, Massachusetts tells every family in our state, you are not alone. A year ago this month, I remember seeing Gladys Vega's face on a small little box on my laptop. I have known Gladys for a long time, long enough to know that when Gladys thanks you, she's probably going to ask you for something. Next to her via Zoom, in their own boxes, were Senator Bayano, who we just heard from, Senator Edwards, Representative Cruz, and Representative Garcia. As chair of the Black and Latino Caucus, I had asked the four of them to serve on a task force, not to put out a statement, but to write a bill, to sit with families, to talk to law enforcement and advocates alike, to find language that all 26 of us could agree on. They all said yes, though my hermana Representante Garcia said, I'm only doing it if you're facilitating. Similar bills have been filed in the past, and there are many people in this room to thank for legislation that they filed before. But the seeds of the PROTECT Act were planted that August afternoon on that Zoom, when Gladys closed with teary eyes, thanking us for doing something real for her people, for our people, and for not just talking about values, but doing something real. Something real. That was the assignment. Real is a mother in Haverhill walking her son to school in September without calculating whether she'll be there at 3 o'clock to walk him home. Real is a woman walking into a courthouse for a restraining order without asking whether the courthouse is a trap. Real is a DA relying on witness testimony to prosecute crimes. Real is a father driving his daughter to the emergency room at 2 in the morning with only his daughter to worry about. There are 26 members of the Massachusetts Black and Latino Caucus, and I want to give them a huge, huge round of applause. This November makes 9 years for me in the House, and I can't think of a more meaningful tenure than this past session, being chair of the caucus, working with my familia, and we have many behind us here today. When it came time to file the bill, not one member held back. And at the conference table sat Representative Marcus Vaughn, a Republican from Rentham, because a child's ability to walk to school and her mother's trust in local police were never a partisan proposition, and he stood by that. Governor, you put sensitive places on the table in January and never wavered. Speaker Mariano, you moved the House first when going first meant carrying some risk. And Madam President Spilka, you took our bill and sent it back even stronger. This was truly a collaborative effort of government here in Massachusetts. And while we get to stand up here, there are many staff members that I'd love to highlight, but there's one in particular, our Executive Director of the Black and Latino Caucus, Tomás O'Brien. This state and this country are not great in spite of immigrants, but because of immigrants. Some will try to say that this bill makes us less safe, but it's the oldest trick in politics. Demonize the newcomer, the immigrant, not here in Massachusetts. When you spend local police dollars and time on civil immigration, hunting people who pose no threat to public safety, you do not gather more criminals, you lose more witnesses. In places where this is the case across the country, victims reported crimes 30% less often. The crimes did not vanish, the witnesses did. The bottom line is this: our courthouses are for justice, our schools are for learning, our police are for public safety. None of them will be instruments of a racially and politically motivated deportation campaign that makes us less safe. Finally, this law was not written at the State House. It was written in Chelsea, in Lawrence, in Haverhill, Salem, East Boston, Western Mass, in church basements, in union halls, and in living rooms. They were told that this was really hard, that people have tried in the past. They were told that it might not be the moment, but they refused to accept a Commonwealth smaller than our own promise. That's right. What is happening today is not something that we hand down as state leaders. It is something that leadership has lifted up. Someday a young woman in Haverhill or Chelsea is going to ask her mother what it was like in these years. And her mother is going to tell her the truth. It was frightening. People disappeared from parking lots and courthouse hallways. But then she'll look at her daughter and say, this is the part that I want her to be able to say, that in Massachusetts, people stood up, that her neighbors testified, and that her state did not look away. Quiero concluir con otro refrán. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you all so much. And before I introduce my good friend Lenina Reason, I just have to say that it really matters who your governor is. It really matters who your governor is. And in Maura Healey, we have a champion, a fighter for justice, for immigrants, for humanity, for in these times, we can't take that for granted. So now it's my honor to introduce someone who was a domestic worker in Brazil. She came to the Brazilian Workers Center more than a decade ago as an organizer, and today she leads it. Immigrant-led, woman-led, and in this fight long before any of us filed this bill. Please welcome Executive Director, and she's full of reason, Brazilian Workers Center, Lenina Reason.
that we know the Black Latino Caucus came with this bill, but and guys split the seed, but we watered it, and we took care of the soil. And we had Julius Schlossman from Johnson. We had Laura Rotolo and Gavi both from ACLU. They had worked with us and of course had to deal with me because I don't know anything about politicians, but I know about my community and I know where I run it. So I want to thank you for being patient and for really working with all of us and hear my voice as a Black woman, immigrant, and someone that speaks accent. Like ICE is looking for, right? Doesn't matter if I am a U.S. citizen or not. They're gonna look at me first. So thank you for listening to me and to work with me and all the other members of the coalition so we could work with the Black Latino Caucus and many others to make sure we'll be here today. Today marks a monumental step forward for Massachusetts as our governor, Healey, signs the historic PROTECT Act into law, established some of the strongest statewide safeguards to the nation to defend due process, protect our immigrant neighbors, uphold equal justice under the law, establish clear limits on local and state involvement with federal civil immigration enforcement. As many have said before me, this landmark legislation ensures that our school, our hospital, our courthouse, and our community space remain safe, where all residents is learning, seek medical care, and engage with justice system without fear. It reflects our Commonwealth fundamental values. The public safe is built on trust, transparency, and universal protects for constitutional rights. This vital achievement would not having been possible without the vision and leadership of the Black Latino Legislative Caucus, who filed initial legislation and constantly championed policy solutions that prioritize safe and dignity of all most vulnerable communities. I don't like to read that. Yes, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the protecting community Massachusetts Gay Coalition, and I want to thank you, and especially to my friend, someone that I can call friend, Senator Edward. So today we call it PROTECT Act, but many years ago it was called Safe Community Act. And here, Edward, my friend, Senator Eldridge, and I want to thank Dr. Souza. For me, of course, I have the respect for their role as senators and rep, but I also feel like I can talk with them without filter, so they know. Today's victory stands as a testament to the power of coalition building. A collective action provided when we stand proves. A collective action proves that when we stand united, we create a fair, safer, and more inclusive Massachusetts for everyone. Thank you. vocês e é para toda a comunidade. Eu sei o quanto tem sido difícil para todos nós, para as mães, para os pais, para os vizinhos. Eu tenho vivido isso todos os dias junto com a minha equipe que está ali. Eu quero dizer que hoje podemos agradecer a nossa governadora. I want to say that we can thank you, Governor Healey, because many years ago, porque muitos anos atrás, quando tentamos passar algo parecido, o governador anterior disse que iria vetar. I want to say that the previous governor said that he would fix everything that was related to immigration. So thank you. Thank you.
I just want to say something. I didn't expect Lenita to make that comment about me. What I did want her to say, I wanted people to hear in their own language, and I wanted moms and dads in Massachusetts to hear in their first language, and kids to hear in this first language from Lenita what today is about. Because today is about taking care of Massachusetts families. Today is about making people safer. Today is about protecting. Because it really is abusive. I just wanted to say that, Lenita. Thank you for doing that. I also want to say this. You know, Lenita, you serve on my Latino Empowerment Council. And I established a Latino Empowerment Council at the outset. I asked Josiana Martinez to co-chair along with Gladys Vega. And one thing that strikes me too that people should know, because this discussion is not over. There will be ugliness coming out of today. There will be ugly rhetoric. There will be meanness. There will be cruelty. There will be racist tirades. You'll see it online and elsewhere, okay? Listen, we'll be strong, we'll be tough. We know what's right. We know how to protect ourselves. We know how to protect public safety. And we know what we need to do because we know how terrible, terrible ICE has been in Massachusetts and around this country. And this is about stopping it. I also want to say something more though. When I took a look at the Latino Empowerment Council, one thing that has always struck me over the last 18 months is not only what Donald Trump is doing is cruel, unconstitutional, un-American, it is so stupid. And I'll tell you why. Same thing's happening with TPS right now. Taking away legal work authorizations from hard-working people who are working here, taking care of people in our hospitals, our healthcare centers, our nursing homes, and the like. Latinos are the fastest-growing demographic in Massachusetts. And they are part of the engine that is powering in willpower Massachusetts. So I just want that message out to the Latino community in particular. And with that, I bring up an engine of her own right, the one and only Gladys Vega.
It is such an honor to celebrate this moment. I have to dedicate this moment to a few individuals of my staff who this week their parents were detained and in deportation proceedings. I have to dedicate this time also to a member who has to show up with her 2 children and her husband on Saturday morning to Logan Airport, where they will give her her passport so she can go back to her country when she was allowed to come in through a legal process. And I have to celebrate this moment for my dear friend Brenda, who had the courage to put her story out there on behalf of her daughter. by sort of like all the meetings and all the listening, for Judith coming here with some of the members in the full line, interviewing people, figuring out what are we doing right, what can we add, what can we change. And this bill only took 1 year. Remember the driver's license issue? But this is the leadership that we have in Governor Healey and her administration. And that's what we have to think about. When we want things done, this is who we want to continue to keep in these spaces, right? I also have to say that to the speaker, to the trusted representative, Judy, Andy Vargas, Dan Cahill, thank you for coming to Chelsea, to being involved, to listen to the stories, to help shape legislation rooted in life experience. I also have to say, ustedes escucharon de corazón, ustedes escucharon las preocupaciones de nuestro pueblo. You listen to the voices of our community. You put your heart out there to listen to the voices. I also have to say that this Protect Act is about more than a law. It protects our constitutional rights, it strengthens our community, but more than ever, it basically brings justice to the people that think that they can get away with mistreating our residents and our community. Nunca imaginé que una gobernadora vendría a nuestra comunidad no para hacer una promesa, sino para convertir esta promesa en una ley. I never imagined that a governor would come to our community, not to make promises as politicians sometimes do, right? But to create that promise and make it a reality for every member of our community, our Commonwealth, and our state. As we celebrate today, this work is not finished. Nuestra lucha continúa. We will continue to advocate for families that are losing temporary protected status. We will continue to defend the dignity and the constitutional right of every person. We know that what we're living in this time is too many families experience fear and hateful and discrimination and racial profiling. If you look like me or like them, we're going to be in trouble. But this struggle is going to be good because we're standing together today and we have protections. Bring it on, we're ready. And today we celebrate more than a bill. We celebrate a Commonwealth that comes together to end injustice. We celebrate a moment in history where non-profit organizations, the many non-profit immigrant organizations that for decades thought about being in a place like today, a historic moment, and we're creating this history as we speak today. Celebramos el amor que siempre será más fuerte que el miedo. We're celebrating love because it's stronger than fear. Mariano, qué hombre tan impresionante, right? Spilka, but you know, the fact that he gave two young people the leadership to do this, to take this idea and work with all the senators and the reps, and you brought it together, and you kept it, and you kept hearing voices, amending stuff, and calling, this is what you're all thinking about, etc. That takes courage. Leadership is not given, and this it shows a sign of true leadership. So a nuestro querido Mariano, muchísimas gracias. Este es el hombre con mucho poder y él dio a estas dos personas jóvenes el liderazgo, dos personas latinas inmigrantes, el liderazgo para que ellos crearan con todos los demás esta ley, con todas las non-profit y que ayudaran. Y ellos lo han hecho y esto hay que celebrarlo. And in closing, I just want to say, una vez más, Governor Healey and Kim, thank you for listening to the voices of our community. Thank you for seeing the faces, for addressing the fear, for knowing that Brenda will be able to go to court without being fearful of being the person, and she would be able to celebrate that justice, although the harm has been done, but it's an amazing moment to celebrate because we're literally standing in the right side of law. And we're standing as a community stronger than ever. Enough is enough. We must continue. But today we celebrate. Listen, we're gonna, the hate is gonna come, and it's okay. It's okay. We have to understand that it's gonna be personal attacks. It's gonna be community issues. They may show up more often, but it's okay. We're ready. Before they were coming in and we didn't have anything to hit them with. Now we have the law. Now we have protection. Muchísimas gracias.
Buenos días. Me siento súper contenta.
Good morning. I'm very happy and proud.
Le quiero dar las gracias primeramente a Dios.
First, I want to thank God.
Y Julie, gracias.
And Judith, thank you.
Y a tu equipo de trabajo.
And to your team of work.
A la gobernadora le quiero dar gracias por estar aquí presente.
Governor, I want to thank you for being present here today.
Gladys, Billy, les agradezco mucho porque siempre me han estado apoyando en todo.
Gladys, Dini, I thank you so much for supporting me in everything.
También hay unas personas especiales, licenciado Daniel, Rosa Álvarez,
There are also other important people, the attorney, Rosa Alba,
mi prima Amanda, que siempre han estado ahí apoyándome.
my cousin who has always been supporting me.
Son personas contadas, pero le doy gracias porque hemos creído y estamos viendo la respuesta, que no son promesas que están haciendo, sino que están cumpliendo.
There might be a lot more people, but I want to take a moment to think, because these are not just promises, these are promises that are kept, and they're here today.
Y me siento contenta porque digo, se cumplió la ley en el tiempo perfecto y como le dije a Gladys, ahora
I'm very happy because this law is being passed at the perfect time, and like I said to Gladys,
ahora le haremos justicia porque habemos muchas personas víctimas que no queremos hacer justicia por miedo, pero ya hay una ley que nos está protegiendo.
and I would like to say that now we can search for justice because now there is a law that will protect us.
Y solo les digo gracias y confiemos, levantemos nuestra voz que sí somos escuchados.
So I only say thank you, and let's raise our voices because we're clearly being heard.
Well, thanks everybody, and thank you, Brenda, for sharing your words. And look, I hope this work today by Massachusetts and what we've done together will help reduce the fear that is out there. But it's also the case we're going to continue the fight. This is about protecting public safety. This is about protecting people in Massachusetts against ICE, from whom we need a lot of protection right now. So I invite others in the audience, if you want to join us, we're going to take the podium away, and I'm going to sign this legislation into law. Okay?